the Sovereign Wealth Partners. Now, the room is only about 150 people. A little disappointing in that I would think that if you're serious about your projects, you'd want to move forward with all the tools you can to assist yourself in that. So for me, Sovereign Wealth Partners is going to be our entity moving forward beyond the flip. That is going to do all the training and education, provide the tools and the systems to assist you guys with your family office. They'll work in conjunction with fairly lawful advocates on the lawful side. Of course, Trish and Doug with the cases asset protection. They'll be working on the trust side, and we'll have some other programs and services as well, all tying together. And when we go on to next week, when we talk about part 2 of family office, we'll start to define the roles within the family office, and you'll see how some of the things that we'll be providing will be part of part of your family office stuff moving forward. Okay, so let's look at the Zoom guidelines, and I've already hinted a bit already about how it's going to roll. Essentially, I'll read the slide out aloud. The round table voices will share first, and who are on the round table? They're the people with their hands up top. So they are able to make a comment if they wish. They're not obligated for every slide to say something, but if something is of note, then speak. And then once I found that nobody else from the round table would like to speak, then we'll open it up to everybody else. As it says there, it's a circle, not a stage. We're metaphorically, of course. So we're just asking everyone just to make a comment. No backstories, no dominated conversation. Just get this thing going, flow and smoothing. Practice hard focused listening. I think that's what we're all now learning to do. If you do want your camera off, that's okay. A lot of people like to have the camera on and what have you, but what we're going through tonight for some people may be a bit heart-wrenching. So if your camera's off, guys, that's all okay. What we'll do is just the program. We won't record the ongoing Q&A afterwards. It's just the program itself. So if you feel as though your question can't be done on camera, then by all means wait until the end, and we'll have Q&A. You guys are family. Let's get ready. Whether you have blood relatives or not, you belong. You are held. You are safe. And we are walking together. So what's going to happen in a moment is I'm going to ask Catherine to come forward and do a meditation. So I want to set the scene. Cutting the cord to the past, releasing all that no longer serves. In this sacred process, we are invited to gently release the energetic cords, the unseen attachments that bind us to outdated frequencies, unresolved situations, or unhealed stories. Catherine will guide us through a guided meditative space to restore clarity, peace, and sovereignty. What we may be releasing: people will no longer align with your path, places you feel stuck in energetically, situations such as traumas, breakups, illness, death, old beliefs, emotions, and programs across the mental, emotional, and physical, spiritual bodies, past goals, dreams, or projects, especially the ones that you feel you've failed at or carry regret over. So, with key reflections. What is an energetic cord and how is it formed? Why is it important to identify and clear these cords now? What can we cut to dissolve these cords lovingly without harm? What if I want to maintain a connection but with the new boundaries? How do I know when to cut the cord when the cord has been released? The cord has been released. This is not about disconnection, it's about reclaiming your energy, honoring your evolution, and making space for relationships that are truly reflect the current frequency. You're allowed to release in love. You are safe to let go and begin again. So with that said, Catherine, could you just unmute and lead the group forward?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
I can indeed, and I will just stop the share for now. So you go ahead.
Beautiful. Can you just take me back to that slide and I'll just go through those things.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, so firstly, I'll just put that screen share back on. Share. Okay, beautiful.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Brownie. I'm so excited to do this. It's such an honor. So I wanted to share this because it is a really profound, it's a psychological exercise, but it's a spiritual exercise. It's mental, emotional. It works on every layer and level, physical as well. Um, so one of the things that can stop us from raising our frequency or maintaining our frequency is the energetic cords or the energy that's running and how we're running our energy. So, an energetic cord is basically whenever we have a connection with anyone or anything, an energy cord gets created between us, and energy runs and transfers back and forth. Um, so, can you just go back, darling, to the
Yeah.
Brownie? It just went back. No.
There.
Yep.
Oh,
Next one.
there we are.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thank you. Thank you. So I'm sure we've all had experiences where you really connect with someone and there's a beautiful energy exchange between you, right? That's the energy running through the energetic cord. Sometimes we may have experiences with people where we feel good and then we meet up with them or connect with them and we feel drained or exhausted or overwhelmed. And this is because the energy is running between the two of us. And some people run their energy in such a way that they drain energy, they take energy from other people. In spiritual circles, this is often called an energy vampire, and you may have had those experiences. And it's not, usually the person is not doing it consciously, um, but they've learned at some stage to run their energy in this way, often if they've experienced trauma, particularly in childhood. So this is a really good way, this process we're going to do, this cord cutting process is a really good way to disconnect from that and reset at a new level so that you're not having your energy drained by people. And also in this process, it's like an opportunity to give the other person a gift to learn to run their energy differently. So someone who holds that narcissist archetype, that narcissist energy, they do that that's how they run their energy, for example. So why is it important to identify and clear it? When we're going through an ascension process, when we're going through an evolution process, we need to let go of all of the energy from the past that doesn't serve us so we can move forward. And I'm sure many of you have had this experience of being, sorry, I'm having a brain fart at the moment. Hang on, let me just check my energy. Okay. Sorry, I'm just, okay. What we want to do is what's happening when we're evolving is our energy frequency is raising, it's refining. And we've all, I'm sure, had these experiences where your energy goes, you're with someone, you're feeling great, you've done your meditation, or you've done your clearing, or you've done your exercise or cleansing or whatever it is, and then you're back in a situation where your energy frequency drops again. What this process will do is allow you to be able to hold and maintain a higher frequency. Okay. And how can we cut or dissolve cords lovingly without harm? We'll do that within the process. And it's a very elegant process, and it's a process about connecting with source, however you define that. So some people call it God, maybe you call it the angels, maybe you call it divine infinite creator, whatever phrase works for you. Will be connecting to that light source, and we will be cutting all the cords to everyone and everything in your life. Sometimes when we say this, people go, oh, but I don't want to cut people out of my life. And it's not about that. It's about cutting the cords to the energy from the past that doesn't serve you and doesn't serve them and doesn't serve the relationship. And as soon as you, when we do this process, as soon as you think of that person or they think of you, you will reconnect. You'll create a new energy cord, but it will be at a more refined level to where you are right now. And it will be with very, very clear boundaries. This is particularly important if you have those people in your life who drain your energy, take your energy, harvest your energy, play games with mind games or games with energy. So it allows you to very elegantly do this at a level which is, which is aligned with who you are. This also applies to people that maybe because of the way they've run their energy, you have cut cords to them already. You cut the connection, or you don't have contact. Energetically, they will feel when you do this process, and sometimes they'll try and hook back in to get their energy, get energy from you again. So this again allows you, you don't have to be in contact or having any conversation with them or even have them in your life in order to do this process and in order to set a really elegant boundary. I also use this process. Sometimes I'll be hanging out with someone and they start to do that. They start to run their energy in a certain way or drain my energy, and I can feel it. So, literally, like as we're talking, I do this process in my head, and it's interesting to watch their energy shift. So, how do I know when a cord has been released? You'll feel it. You'll feel it during this process. Usually, people are like, oh, I've been carrying so much stuff that's not mine or that's old energy. So you will feel it. You'll know it. You'll see it. You'll hear it. On that, I just want to point out that the way we perceive the world is very different, and the way we communicate and the way we run our energy is different from person to person. So some people are more feeling oriented, so they will feel this, they feel energy, they're empaths. For some people, it's more about how it looks, so the visual communicators. So when we're doing this process, some people will feel the process, some people will see it, some people will hear it because they're more auditory, more hearing oriented, and some people will just know that the cord's been released. They'll just know that something's happened energetically. So I will invite you to, I'll be using words like imagine, for example. So that is allowing you to do this in the way that you normally run your energy and the way that you meditate or perceive information in the world. Okay, so there's no right or wrong with how you do it. It's just very much how it's aligned with you. So it's not about disconnection, it's actually about connection at the highest levels. It's about reclaiming your energy and honoring your evolution and making space for relationships that truly reflect where you are right now in your current frequency and where you want to go, where you're moving to. On that, what I have experienced, and I've done this with thousands of people, and I also have this process in my books, and I hear this feedback all the time that because we're talking about energy and energy is real time, when you do this process, it is a really powerful process, and other people who you have a cord connection to will feel it. So you might want to, first of all, if you're able, turn your phones off face for this. And the other thing I do want to mention is as we move into the process, if you're listening to this right now or in the recording, if you're driving or operating machinery, please stop the recording. Don't do this while you're driving or operating machinery. It could be disastrous. Um, so what I have observed is that at the time when people are doing this process, the other people they have connections with feel it, and they often reach out and contact them at that time. And that's okay if it's someone you love that connection and they're aligned with your frequency, that's fine. If it's someone they might just go, oh, I was just thinking of you all of a sudden. How are you? Sometimes if it's someone maybe you've cut out of your life or you haven't had contact with, or you've been having issues with frequency alignment with that person, they will also reach out. And if it's someone who's been draining your energy, they will often reach out to, because they sense that the energy source is cut, is gone. So this is about, during the process, you will understand what's happening there. So this is about you being able to say, my energy is sovereign. My energy is my energy. Like, you work really hard to keep your energy and generate your energy. And when someone takes your energy, it's akin to them walking up to you, opening up your wallet or your purse, or going into your bank account and taking your money out. And what happens is, like, if someone did that to us, we would be like, what are you doing? That's mine. That's my money. That's my energy, right? But what's happened is, particularly for females, is we've been trained to allow other people to take our energy, to harvest our energy, to manage our energy. And then this matrix system that we live in has been all about harvesting our energy. So we feel disempowered and we feel small and we forget that we are sovereign and divine and free. So this is about not just about our energy, this is about who we are as sovereign beings and reclaiming that fully, and also becoming very conscious of who and what. So who, as in people, systems, are harvesting our energy or trying to take our energy, and being able to elegantly go, no, that this is my energy and I want to keep it with me. And you are allowed to release. We'll be releasing with love, and it's a very high frequency level. When we do this process, you will be inviting in you'll be inviting in other people and situations and opportunities and things that have gone on in the past that you want to disconnect with. You don't have to think about all of this consciously. Your unconscious mind has stored it all for you, and your unconscious mind has a door through to the collective unconscious where everything is stored that anyone on this planet has ever experienced. So you don't have to worry about doing all of that consciously. Just all you need to do is connect to your heart and just trust that your unconscious mind and your soul, which is also has a direct link to your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, just trust that that knows what it's doing. It's a higher intelligence, and that's all you need to do for this process. And when you are inviting these people in, it will be the highest aspect of them. So it's like inviting their souls in. So they will come into your sacred space, and there won't be any shit show going on. There won't be any negative crap you'll be hearing from them. It will be their soul. It will be the highest expression of them. So it's a very safe space to allow these people in. And having said that, it can be really intense for people when they do this, for some people. And it's a imagining space. It's like a daydream imagining space. So it's a very light trance. So we're not going to be going into a deep meditation where you're not conscious of what's happening. If at any time you feel like you start to trigger, just continue to follow the process and flood yourself with light. And if you really need to, just open your eyes and just bring yourself out of it. And but another thing that can be helpful is just going, imagine floating up above your body, because that just takes you out of your body and the emotion. Okay. And then just continue to release at that level. Okay.
Cool.
Cool. All right. So are we good to move into it then,
We
Brownie?
are indeed. I'm just trying to, I've just got Yes, we are. Go ahead.
Fabulous. Thank you. Okay. Is everyone ready? It's very fun. It's possible that after this process, your life will just transform in magical ways. It's a really cool process. Okay, so I want you to I'm aware that we have some people on the call who have hearing impairments, are deaf, and so they're reading the captions. So obviously just continue to read the captions. And then for the rest of you, you can either close your eyes if that feels good, or you can keep them open and just find a spot in front of you on the wall, for example, that you can focus on. And you can alternate between the two as well, whatever you feel comfortable with. So I just invite you to do that now. And I just invite you to connect to your heart, your beautiful, shining, generous humanitarian heart. That's right. And I want you just to imagine your heart shining, glowing, sparkling, shining like the sun. And just imagine that light just filling your entire heart, and then your entire torso, and then your entire body. That's right. And then just send it out, just blast it out like the sun, out in all directions of time, all dimensions, all universes, all time frames, all layers, all levels, all aspects of you, past, present, future, parallel, and fill all of those aspects of you with this light of the highest frequency. Now, this is your beautiful heart, your beautiful light, the true one source, pure source light that you really are. And really breathe this light in deep into your lungs, deep into your core. And just allow it to fill every single cell of your body with this light now. And as it does this, you can just invite the light, ask the light to just push out anything which isn't in alignment with who you are anymore. And just replace your cells with this light. Good. Good. Okay, I want you to imagine now that you are standing on a stage. Now, the stage might be in a theatre, it might be an arena or an auditorium, it might be out in nature. So just imagine standing on that stage. And then there's a spotlight pouring down on you, shining down on you. And this spotlight is infinite source, creator, God, whatever word, whatever language you use for that. Just allow that beautiful, pure, highest source light to pour down on you like a spotlight through your crown, activating your crown, your sovereignty, and down into every cell of your body, filling you up so you're totally whole and healed now. That's right. Good. And then if you have angels or guides or protection that you work with, you can invite them in to work with you now. Maybe you have loved ones who have passed or pets. You can invite them all in now to work with you. And just allow this light, ask this light to move around you and just create a beautiful protective space for you to do this process. So you're safe, you're whole, you're supported. That's right. Good. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to ask you to imagine, to inviting in everyone you've ever had anything to do with in your entire life. Now, you don't need to worry about this consciously. Your unconscious mind knows. So this will be all family members. It will be all the friends you've ever had, every kid you went to school with, all the teachers, all the people you've ever worked with, everyone you played sport with or did any sort of hobby with, all the associations and groups you've been a part of. Just invite them all in now. Just imagine them all pouring into your arena as you stand on that stage, feeling completely safe and grounded and connected and supported. You might also notice or invite in pets or any animals. that you had a connection with. And you can also invite in places. So you might have places coming in to the arena, to the theatre, to the space as well. Any resources that you've been connected with. Any situations, maybe trauma or debt or breakups or illnesses. Just invite them all in now. Any past projects, goals, or dreams, especially the ones that you felt you failed in, or that you've got sitting there somewhere in a filing cabinet or on your computer in a file, but you never actually got to put out into the world. Good. Okay. And I want you just to focus again on your heart. And as you see this, just imagine that infinite flow of light, love, and healing that is pouring down from the one source light, pure source light, God, however you call that. Just see that pouring down and into your heart, and then send it from your heart to all of these people and places and situations now. And for some people, they might even imagine this like a neural pathway in the brain, lots of connections or cords. Or maybe you're imagining this like files on a computer, and you're seeing the connections between all of these things and people and situations. So just spill that light, send that light out of your heart, blast it, shine it to all of these things in front of you, the people, the situations, the resources. And then become aware of the cords that connect you to all of these people, situations, places, things. And I want you just to be aware of or imagine where that connects on your body. So some people, when they do this, have it all in one place. It might be in their heart, it might be in their gut. It might be in a specific spot where you've had injuries, for example. And so just become aware of that now. Good. And just notice or observe or become aware of the thickness of the different chords. So usually if it's someone we really love, who we've known for a long time, maybe our children, maybe our partner, maybe a really close friend, maybe a close family member, that cord is often quite thick. And this can be thick whether it's a good relationship or a relationship that's not working for us, what we would define as good or not working. And then other chords will be smaller, like maybe some friend you had in kindergarten. Yeah, so just observe that. Good. And just observe how the energy is flowing back and forth between you. So in some of these chords and connections, the energy is going two-way really easily and effortlessly. And in others, it might be, you might become conscious of that chord is trying to take your energy because that person's trying to take your energy. So just observe it. Good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the cords between you and all of these other connections. Now, remember I said that we're not cutting that person out of our life altogether. Once you've cut the cords and completed this process, when you think of this person or they think of you, you will automatically reconnect, but it will be at a new higher level, at the frequency that is your actual real frequency, beyond planet Earth and beyond all of the stuff that we've all been through here. Good. Okay, now when we cut the cords, some people like to invite in an angel or a security team who's on their security council flight, or a lot of people work with Archangel Michael. I like to bring him in because he has a sword, and his sword cuts through illusion and negativity. So it cuts through all the crap and it cuts through to the truth. So just imagine now cutting all of those cords. And as you're cutting the cord, see the part of the cord that is yours coming back to you, cleansed and purified by the light, and see the part of the cord that belongs to the other person or thing or situation or place going back to them. So this is a way to hand back anything that is not yours, that you may have been carrying. This is particularly powerful when we've been for people who are awake and aware on this planet, for people who are aware of the ascension process, often we've been carrying heaviness for our family lineage. So this is about handing back the stuff we've taken on, the programs, the heaviness, the low frequency energy, which is not aligned with who we really are. And it also is an opportunity to hand back every time we've felt empathy for someone else and tried to fix a situation that didn't get fixed anyway. And so we took on their energy to try and do this. Maybe we even took on their pain or their illness or their disease. And this again is very common in families. So just hand it all back now. It's not yours. Just hand back all the stuff that isn't yours. And if someone has an illness or a problem or an issue, they've created it so they can learn. Their soul has created it so they can learn. When we try and take it from them, we take away their opportunity to learn. So then they need to create another situation to learn. So it actually doesn't solve the problem anyway. So just hand back everything that is not yours. Everything you are not responsible, hand it back. And as you're cutting the cords, sometimes there can be really big, thick connections. So if you need to, you get out scissors, you get out a sword, you get out a chainsaw if you need to, and cut all of the cords now. That's right. And if you're having a bit of an issue or it's feeling a bit funny cutting a particular cord, just blast light through the cord from your heart. Send it over to the other person. See it filling them up, and then cut the cord. See it filling them up so they are totally whole and healed now. We are supposed to, the way we're designed as souls, we're supposed to, because we are an aspect of source, connect to source light. We are not supposed to take our energy or get our energy from anyone or anything. So when you're cutting these cords and you're sending that light to that person where they've been taking your energy or harvesting your energy, it's an opportunity to teach them that they can run their own energy a different way. Good. Okay, now all the cords are cut between you and them. Just check in if there's anything else you need to hand back to them that isn't yours. Just hand it back. And this can include anywhere where someone told you something that you started to believe, such as, I'm not good enough. So just hand it back. And you started to run that as a program. Hand it back to you. Say, this is not mine. And if that doesn't feel right, you can just send it up into the light for transmutation. Good. Now I want you to imagine that same source light, that spotlight that's been pouring down on you this whole time as you stand on that stage. Imagine it simultaneously pouring down through the crown, through the top of the head of everybody standing in front of you, and pouring into everything, every resource, every situation in front of you now. Filling them up so they're totally whole and healed now. And what you're saying to them is this: You are empowered. You are connected. You are also sovereign. You don't need to get your energy from me or anyone else. You have your own source of this energy. And just imagine that pouring down on them and filling them up so they're totally whole and healed now. And it's possible at this point you might even feel a release, like a, ah, good. Okay, I'm good. I've handed back the stuff that I don't need. They're good. I don't need to save them or rescue them. They're totally empowered and sovereign and free. They can do it themselves. They are also divine. Good. Okay, I want you just to imagine now all of those people, these situations, just sending them off into the light. Remember, as I said, you will reconnect with anyone you want to and you're meant to in the future, as soon as you think of each other, but it will be from where you are now, from this clear, higher frequency that is aligned with who you really are. Just imagine them all going. If you've had any situations like trauma, illnesses, diseases, breakups, all of that, where there was a lot of emotion around it, you can take those situations now and surrender them into the light, into the one source, pure source light for transmutation. If you work with the violet flame, you can put them into the violet flame. But if you don't work with the violet flame, don't worry about that bit. Just transmute them all. And you can ask that that energy that is transmuted is returned to you, cleansed and purified, working with the frequency you're at now. So, for example, if you'd had a failed project, a business, say, you can transmute that now, you surrender that, and then you call that energy back through the light and you place it back in your energy field now with all of your resources from that, everything you've learned and everything, all the dreams, all the hopes, all the goals, all that energy, the positive energy that's aligned with you to support you. You might also like to just focus in for a moment if you've had frustration, if you've been playing this game for a long time, the Ascension game, and aware of the RV and what was coming. We can just take any energy that's feeling frustrating or annoying or disappointing, or if there's any sadness or anger or anything which is low frequency, just send that into the light as well for transmutation. And then ask that it's transmuted and returned to you. So you can remember and hold on to that fresh excitement of, oh, this is going to be an RV. We're going to ascend. We're going into 5D Earth. Yay. Free from all the crap we've all been going through. So just take a moment to transmute that now. It's just energy. Energy does not die. It just changes form. Now, this is just teaching, and I know that most of you knows this, but just teach and remind the cells in your body that might have forgotten what it feels like to hold this fresh, exciting, beautiful, high frequency energy and to run it through your body. And just take a moment now to call back to you through the light anywhere where your energy was taken from you, harvested, and this includes from the false matrix system. Call all your energy back to you now through the light. So all the love you put out that maybe wasn't appreciated, or you feel like it was lost or a waste, call it back to you through the light all the time. All the time you've invested in things and people and situations that you felt like it didn't flow for you or it didn't work for you, call it back through the light. All the money you've invested in things that you feel like did not come to fruition, call it back through the light. Call everything back through the light, all of your energy back to you now that is yours, and place it back in your energy field for you to use now. That's right. Good. And it might help you to imagine this as a color or colors. So just imagine that settling. So if it was a color or colors, what would it be? And just imagine that settling into your energy field now. And then just call in from the light your sovereign energy. And if your sovereign energy was a color, what color would it be? What shape would it be? There's no right or wrong. What feeling would it be? What would it sound like? What sound would it be? What knowing feeling would it be? Or knowing would it be? Call that in from the light, through the light, from the light, your divine sovereign essence. And imagine that pouring in through your crown and moving down into your body, into every single cell of your body, so that every single cell of your body knows and understands what it feels like to be sovereign, to be divine, to be free, to be wealthy. Breathe it in right into your core. I know that most of yourselves know this because otherwise you wouldn't even have a concept of these things. You wouldn't have attracted a situation or an opportunity like the RV into your life. You wouldn't even be aware or conscious of it. So I know that most of your cells know this, but just teach and remind the cells that might have forgotten. Breathe it deep into your core. And as it goes right into your cells, ask it to push out anything which is not in alignment with who you truly are as a sovereign being. And just send that off into the light to be transmuted and replace it with this divine, sovereign, free program. That's right. Your true sovereign essence, your true aligned frequency. Because sovereign beings know how to run their energy correctly in a way that works for everybody. Sovereign beings know their value. Sovereign beings know their worth. Sovereign beings, when they know all of this, know the value and worth of other people. Sovereign beings know how to run their energy in a way that leads with grace and elegance and dignity and respect, creating a win-win for everybody. Sovereign beings know how to move forward. Sovereign beings know how to allow support, how to ask for support. Sovereign beings know they're not here to do every single job themselves. They're here to do particular jobs, to live their sovereign purpose, and then ask for help along the way and allow that in. That's true sovereignty. So allow yourself to, as you allow yourself to experience this now, in whatever way that comes to you, know that this is your true essence activated, and you can access that at any time you want. You can access this feeling, this experience, this memory. Just need to imagine in your head saying the word sovereign or I am sovereign. Just declare it. And you can hold this space easily and effortlessly now. And just ask and invite this sovereign energy to move around your energy field, settling, supporting, holding you, maintaining that higher, beautiful frequency. Feeling safe, feeling protected, as you have a right to be in every situation. Sovereign beings are protected. They are secure. They are safe. They are free to do what they came here to do. They are free to lead. with grace and wisdom. They are free to create. Good. Good. Well done. So I just invite you to focus again on your heart, your beautiful, exquisite, sovereign heart, your beautiful, aligned, humanitarian heart. And see, feel, imagine, know yourself shining like the sun with this beautiful, exquisite, sovereign energy activated in your energy field. Now, that's right. And then if you've had your eyes closed, when you're ready, just gently allow yourself to come back to open your eyes and come back to the awareness of the call. Taking a big deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good, that's right.
Thank you, Catherine. That was incredible. That was you went deep. That was fantastic. I'm sure everyone's got a lot out of that too. So what I want to do is just go through the next slide and then we'll open this all up for conversation. Fantastic. Welcome and sacred circle of holding of the circle. As we gently enter into the sovereign safe space, we honor your lived experience, grief, joy, hope, or confusion. Family systems have been fractured by traumas, programs, and time. This is a non-judgmental space to reflect and restore. Everything belongs here, even silence. Together, we explore a new meaning with passion and clarity. And quite frankly, that session we just did has set the whole call up very, very nicely. Does anyone from the round circle have any comments on that process tonight?
Can I jump in, Brownie?
You certainly can, Della. Go ahead.
Catherine, I have done a lot of work in my own with clients. Generally, I've worked with what I call the meditation, cutting the ties that bind. What I found interesting tonight is how much wider you took that journey to bring in people's workmates. Normally they're looking to offload or shut down or disconnect with a particular person that's caused grief. But you brought in the workmates, you brought in your child, I would like to call the childhood experiences. You brought in what I call your life experiences and aim to transmute the impact of all of those. I found that fascinating.
Cool. Oh, that's good. Yay.
Yeah, it was good for me because I was able to go back into childhood situations and things I've been through over the years, and I really feel as though I was able to, as I say, disconnect, start afresh. So from now, when I meet someone or I reconnect with someone, as you said, that's all gone, and now there's an opportunity for a new relationship, which is fantastic. Really nice.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. It's
Really
very
loved it.
exciting, actually. Yeah. And what it means is that we're holding our energy with us and not tangled up in all the games and all the stuff and all the past, And it's also that thing of where this is really powerful is particularly with people who've known us for a long time. Like, I'm sure we've all had those family experiences where people still see us as who we were many years ago and not who we are now. Whereas this just pushes that gently aside and it's like, this is who I am and appreciate it or not, but it doesn't matter, because I'm sovereign and this is who I am and I'm just going to run my energy and get on with my life. So it means we're not so tangled up with all the stuff in the past, particularly for empaths. Because and humanitarians, because they have such big hearts and they're feeling into everything and they want to make things better. And this is the best way we can lead, right? Is to be completely aligned in our own energy. And then we move forward and we can inspire. Yeah. And other people go, oh, what's going on there? I want to be a part of that. Yeah. Rather than trying to fix individually. And yeah, yeah. That I think that was one of the biggest learnings that I had was that I would feel people's pain and people's stuff and I wanted to fix it. And some people don't want that. Some people want to stay in it. And that's been one of the biggest, yeah, things I had to learn as an empath over the years was I'll do what I can, I'll offer support and love where I can, but I cannot have my energy constantly drained by that. And it's that person's journey. That's their journey is to learn whatever they need to learn. And sometimes for us to set a boundary, to cut a cord, to move on, is the motivations that other people need to actually shift their energy as well.
I feel it's very important to bring these concepts into your next family meeting or family get together to engage with your family in this way.
Yeah.
And get closer to them, and especially when you've got family connections that might have been strained in the past, and you know you have some broken contacts. It's important to bring them back in again. Use these principles.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, I mean, what's beautiful about this is automatically when you show up with your family, you're in a different energy. So, and you're holding that frequency because that's sitting in your energy field now and running. But I think it's also important to, we still need the boundaries and we still need to say, okay, I'm showing up in this energy now. You can play with me at this energy, but I'm not playing at the other levels. I'm not engaging at those levels.
Yeah, you need to draw them up to that energy level. Yeah.
Yeah, and it might be something you actually articulate, or it may not be. So I don't have.
Sorry, Catherine, you remember you said that the person that you're standing back from and being clear yourself with will know that you have done that, and it could be. Do you think it could be not necessary to speak with them, especially if they don't understand what, say, we understand at the moment, that we do have things to drop off, because some people who have been friends, in inverted commas, perhaps have been needy, so needy that they want to sort of latch on to you. And they would possibly be offended if you said that you were going to stand back a bit. They don't understand that, maybe?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is where it's really valuable. They will probably sense it. But what you're saying, I mean, it's a decision for you to say, do I want to keep engaging with that energy? Because that's draining and exhausting and right? Do I want to keep playing that game? Does that serve me and does it serve the other person? No, I'm choosing to play and run my energy a different way, and they can get on board with that or not. So it's really a boundary. What you've just set up is a really elegant new framework and a boundary, very clear boundary of that. So what I find is when I have those people, I just continue. I don't have a conversation with them because they may not, it may not be very useful because it's usually a deep unconscious way they're running their energy. So they're not even aware of it anyway. It's something they've learned when they were young. They learned how to run their energy that way and get energy from other people. When we are really small, we get our energy from other people, right? They feed us, they look after us, and we get energy from them. We get responses, we get interactions and information. At some point as we grow, we learn that we're not to we're not to get energy from other people anymore. So this is why little kids are so exhausting, right? You know, when you're hanging around with a toddler, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, now I get it.
Because they haven't learned how to run their energy in a way that is from within them and sovereign, right? So at some point, most of us learn that, but not everybody does because of their upbringing situation. They're often not conscious they're doing it. So what I do at first, if it's a really draining, hardcore, difficult situation, needy, full of neediness, is I just continue at an energetic level to do the cord cutting. So if they suddenly contact me and they're needing something, I'm like, I cut the energy cord and then I reconnect at that higher level with them. And then I go, do I want to catch up with them today or do I have time? Right? When you do this at an energetic level, it's changing the way you're running the energy between the two of you. And so they will feel it and it's teaching them. And then I imagine them connected to their own source of love, light, and healing. And I literally will say to their soul, we're not running that game anymore. We're not playing at that game anymore. We're running the energy differently. So you start off, you don't have a
The
conversation.
soul would be very happy
Yes.
What was that?
because the soul knows about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And their soul's created the connection to you so you can run it differently. So it's just an elegant way of
Yes,
teaching.
you're helping them. You're not.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, think about it where if you had someone who was always needing money and coming to you and saying, I need some money, can I borrow some money? I need some more money, I need some more money. And there's just a point where that's actually not helping them, right? Because they are quite capable of making money on their own or creating money on their own. So think of it that way. Just think of it as energy and you're just saying, I don't want to run it. Because as we're going through our ascension process, this journey of evolution, we're refining the way we run our energy. And humanitarians who are awake and aware, who are involved with the RV process, are definitely activating that because we've created this amazing opportunities, right? But it's not just about money, it's about energy and the way we're learning to run our energy, because that's at the core of everything we do. Yeah.
Yes, and there was one other thing that I just wanted to mention. It could be helpful for some people when knowing about cutting the cords with Archangel Michael. The idea when I learned about this was and heal the connection points. As you say, I cut the cords with so and so, and I heal the connection points. That helps sometimes to just sort of complete the process and not make people feel so sad. They could feel sad even though there's no need to.
Yeah, and that's why we hand everything back that isn't ours and we call this energy into a place, because that does the healing. Yeah.
Beautiful. And look, I mean, considering that we've been talking over the last few weeks about our interactions with our families, we talked about different types of situations, the boomerang, where you give them some money and they come back 10 times harder, wanting more money. That's a great example of how you've had a connection there. It's not appropriate. Cut it, start afresh. So the RV, and tonight, guys, this is really a great opportunity to start afresh. We've cut the cords, we've healed. Now in our interactions from tomorrow onwards, we're going to see people in a different light, and we're going to not accept people's draining of our energy. We'll hold firm and we'll teach. So it'll be a whole different way moving forward. So really, really excited about tonight. It's really, really good. Does any of the other people from the round table have a question or thought? Because I do know that Lee has his hand up on stage. So anybody else last thoughts?
Just going to add into that, for those that are not aware of these, what Catherine called as energy vampires and stuff like that, when you're in shopping malls, be aware that people turn around and as you walk past them, they go, oh, this feels nice, subconsciously. And that's why you come home shattered, because they've sucked dry in your shopping mall. And so you're not interacting with them, but because you're passing by them, their energy zone feels your energy zone, and it's like they take from you to top them up. So it's always going into that shopping mall with a level of protection, as Catherine has said, set up the protection zone, set it up with your guides, whatever is appropriate, and then enjoy your shopping.
And hold the soft, like you've you've got that sovereign energy now sitting in your energy field. And
Well,
so
can I pop in and say something?
that acts as a protection.
Just
Yeah.
just
Okay.
about protection. Like whenever I go anywhere, even in my car, if I'm going to go on a drive, I put up the bubble of light around my whole car. I put it around myself. So this bubble of light is around me at all times. So I'm putting the frequency around me. So any energy that's not at my at my frequency will just bounce off. I have this protection because it's just something I do automatically now when I go anywhere, and it's just a safeguard, and it's just a way. You might think it's a bit crazy, but I think the bubble of light, or some people put their coat of armor on, or whatever it may be,
Yes.
it's a level of protection. So those things will just automatically bounce off you when you're in the shopping centre, or if you've got someone that you're meeting and it's a situation where it's very hard or draining, you don't want them to drain. So you put the bubble of protection around you, and it's a bright white light. They just see you as a beautiful, your aura's beaming, so then it can just diffuse anything. And that's how I do it. It's something
That's
simple.
beautiful. And I use this all the time as well. And I put it around my home. I put a filter at my front door so that anyone that comes in leaves their stuff outside and only enters in with the highest frequency. You can also put it around email, messaging, your phones, your laptop.
Yeah, I've done it when
I have
if
another
you're
one.
going to have a big,
Another
if you're going to have a
aspect.
big, if you're going to have a big storm or something, you do. I put it around the whole house, and I'll sit in there, and my husband's running around, trying to do this and trying to do that and tie everything down.
Yeah.
I just
And you're doing
bubble
this.
around the house.
Yeah.
I have an aspect that's related
Can't touch
to
this.
when we're getting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so just as another way in which these chords, I've played with them in the past, and I think with families, especially, you know how you sometimes leave a family gathering and you're just like exhausted, and so a lot of times that's because you're actually bringing other people's energy with you. So I do a ritual of, give back to them what's theirs and take back what's mine and just become sovereign and whole again. So that when you get in the car to drive away, you're not all discombobulated energetically. And a lot of people get in accidents after they've been in, intimate settings with people because of that reason. So it's just you can do a separation ritual which is related directly to these chords.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Robert. And I also I do a version of this cord cutting process every evening, and through the day if I feel like I need it. So I shine like the sun from my heart. I send that light out to every aspect of me, filling me up. So I'm totally whole and healed. I ask it to push out everything lower than love into the light. Then I cut the cords to everyone and everything from the day, particularly if you think about being on social media, how many connections you make, right? And that's why it feels so boggy, heavy, right? So cut the cords to all of that. I hand back anything that's not mine back to where it's come from with love, right? And then I send all of that into the light to be transmuted into the light. And then I ask that I'm held in highest frequency, and then I go off to sleep. And sometimes I might go to a healing chamber or a rejuvenation chamber or a support with integration chamber for the downloads. But yeah, you can definitely use this and apply this in every situation where energy is involved. And it's really helpful at night, because what I find then is if I don't do it, I don't sleep well. I'm just like waking up constantly because the cords and connections are still there. Particularly with things like, if you're like, I live in Berlin in Germany, right? So I'm engaging with the hug groups, right? Which is totally different time zone. So it's a bit like if I didn't switch my phone off and I left it on all night and messages are coming in to the Telegram group, right? That would keep me awake. It's the same thing with energy cords. So it's just a really powerful, helpful thing to do.
Yeah,
Well,
I wasn't aware of that it would affect your sleep. That explains a lot. Why some people have restless nights, they can't get to sleep, And obviously that's what it is. It's because you're carrying that bad energy with you as well that you haven't
Yeah.
released.
Yeah. And it's like if you think of the energy's coming in and going, where do I need to be right now? Do I need to do something? Do I need to solve something? You know, like you keep getting things playing around in your head. That's just because of the energy flowing. As soon as you cut the cords, yeah, it's clear.
That's brilliant. That solves so much when it comes to waking up and having all the stuff go in your head. I'm going to use that
Also,
from now on.
cool. Can I just add something, particularly if we think about the RV at the moment and all the energy flying around, the downloads we're receiving, the last gasp attempts of the cabal to stop it all, right? There's so much energy flying around that we're connected with. So again, it just like I very specifically use the cord cutting. If I've just read something on Telegram that's felt triggered or wrong or negative, or if I've had a conversation with someone about the RV and there was doubt in there or something going on, right? I cut the cords and I hand anything back that isn't mine. That's a really helpful thing at the moment because we're being overwhelmed with so much stuff. And there is a lot of, we're aware of the false flags and all of that. And what's important is to be aware of it energetically. So we can go, oh, that's just crap, or that's just a fake whatever, or that's not true. If you cut the cord as well, you can absolutely let it go, especially for empaths and people with big, generous hearts, because otherwise we keep trying to fix it and solve it. And or we just feel it. Yeah.
Yep. Understood. Now, before I go to Lee, who's our first off roundtable, should we say? I want to acknowledge that yes, I made a lot of changes to Zoom. One apparently that hasn't gone quite right is it looks like you guys can only put messages in the chat to admins. I must have changed the setting. I want you guys to be able to put stuff into the chat directly, but it looks like it's only to direct messages. So I apologise for that. I'll get that fixed for tomorrow night's call. Again, I've been playing with the settings, not quite knowing what's what sometimes, but I'll fix that up. Lee, go ahead, mate.
Thank you, Catherine. Very interesting because I've never ever gone through a meditation. I honestly don't know a lot about meditation or anything. I actually felt like I was being hypnotized, and I cannot be hypnotized, no matter what anyone says. It's just I've been on stage, literally on stage, and this guy is saying, "What are you for?" And I go, "No, man, I could see right through this." And this is many years ago, and I never forgot it. And I'm like, because I just knew it was sheep mentality. I'm like, nah. Anyway, that was really unique and weird for me because I'm like, oh, I've never really gone through anything like this, and I'm looking for the light, looking for the heart, and nothing was coming. Then all of a sudden just went black. I had a whole black screen in front of my mind, and then slowly but surely light was coming and the heart would show and everything else. And then I went deeper and deeper, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And cut the cord, I had more than a chainsaw, I had a big axe. I felt like I was going to do some serious damage to a lot of people that have caused me a lot of pain and grief over the years. And
you're just cutting the cords, you're not causing them any harm or grief.
I'm just emphasizing how strong it was.
Understood.
If people really, and I often, without even realize, I don't understand meditation or anything because when people say that and all these words that I call wishy-washy because I just don't get it. Yeah, I was just like, oh dear, how's that work? Okay. But when you are in a relaxed state of mind, you are conscious about what's happening and how things are happening for you and other people, boy, it can be awesome. Now, whether I'm on fifth dimension, I don't know. I'd like to think so in certain aspects. But I think I'm floating in between 4 and 5D sometimes, and other times like tonight, I reckon I've got a speeding ticket only because we're
Yes.
at a family barbecue. And
I love it.
I'm like, seriously? And I made sure that guy who's in the car, I made sure I cut him out of my life because I'm like, bugger. Because I was doing 70 and a 60. I'm like, not again. These things cost money. Add demerit points, everything else. But to be realistic, that really annoyed the hell out of me. So for the last few hours, my energy's been really down and out because I was really pissed off for obvious reasons. Because the last thing you need is that crap. Yeah, they hide and everything else. So so put my energy back up to what you were saying was a challenge because I'm like,
and it's so cool, isn't it? Because it's really fast. You can just now, with anything like that happens, it's possible that you will just automatically go, cut. Oh, we need an axe for that. We need a chainsaw, hand it back. It's not mine. And then you don't have you can just stay in your energy, which you have a right to do.
good. Yeah, well, I mean,
The thing I want to add there is that it's interesting in when you start playing in spiritual community circles because they talk a lot about the light, right? And then they go, oh, the dark or the black, oh, that's bad. And when people are downloading colors, they go, oh, you can't have black. But actually, black is divine feminine essence.
thank God
And
for
it's
that.
the color, if you like, the energy of the void, right? So that between worlds, beautiful, blissful space that we're in when we're not in here. So yeah, it's an interesting one. And you know what's very interesting is that whenever I've done this with people, I've only ever experienced males saying they're downloading the black. Like that's the color they're downloading. Yeah, which is very, very
30
interesting.
seconds
Yeah,
before
the
we
divine
did it,
feminine essence. Yeah.
bang. And it was pitch black. It was wild.
Yeah.
That was bizarre.
Love it.
So
Cool.
thank you.
Well done, Lee.
You're welcome.
Breakthrough, breakthrough, breakthrough.
Yeah.
Okay, does everybody else have anybody else want to share? I'll go on the next slide otherwise.
Yeah. Also, we've got to remember that energy and frequency are two different things, right? Most of us are at a frequency level still on 4D because our world is still transitioning. We're not quite there yet. So, you can't just think that you're in 5D. You may not be. It's possible, but you may not be. But our energy levels is what's, varying all the time. And that's what we have to control.
Yeah. And I would say, I think we need to be really cautious of, I think it's a very personal thing for someone to know where they're at dimensionally. And also I feel like a lot of us play dimension jumping games and timeline jumping games. So we might spend a bit of time in 3D and then we're shifting to 5D or 4D or some other dimension. So, yeah, I think that's something that only the person themselves can actually know.
Yeah, I believe there's no actual divisions between the levels. It's a gradual thing.
Yeah.
Different frequencies. The frequency is raising. It's not in increments. It's gradual. There's no actual.
Yeah, and I think we often understand it according to, like, say, you go to kindergarten, then you graduate to grade 1 and grade 2. This is a bit of a different thing, right? And I think that's why we think that way, because we're programmed that way.
Yeah, we've been trained that way. Yes, that's right.
It's flexible and fluctuating, but the difference, I think, is that I can hold a higher frequency, which might be, I don't know, 6D or 11D or whatever, but I can be in 3D and not feel the negativity or be brought down by the 3D energies. That's the difference, right?
You're just changing your frequency so you can connect at that level. Basically.
Yeah, well, you're holding your frequency and you're shifting dimensions, if you like. So so I can go and play in a 3D dense environment and not be dragged down into that energy. So I can do what are meant to do. For example, when I'm working with people, there will be really heavy, deep shit that comes up for people, incredible trauma, right? If I can't hold I have to hold my frequency, because if I don't, I'm down in their trauma and I can't help them. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So it's about holding our frequency, but then playing in whatever dimension or with whatever energy or information that we're choosing to or need to as part of our path or our journey here. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, if nothing else, let's go on to the next slide. So what we're doing here is to refresh. We're talking about a journey here, like going through. We've been going through family charter, family governance, family office, and we've been redefining things as we go. And next week we'll be getting right into the nuts and bolts and the practicalities of family office with part 2. And tonight's more of a transition to bring people up to that higher level so that you can see how all these pieces play together. It's a bit like what Catherine was saying, is that we're looking at all of this from a 5D or plus perspective, not down into the 3D quagmire that might be someone's family. So when we look at the old paradigm, we've gone through this a fair bit. So I'll just run through this. The old family paradigm is pain. Why families feel like a wound for many. Generational trauma from abandonment, betrayal, control, vaccine and belief divisions that shatter relationships, emotional isolation from awakened ones, no safe place to be your full self in the old family system, feeling alone in your evolution. Now, for a lot of us, we've been through this either early on when we're first waking up and going, what the hell is happening, not just to the world but to me, and we started to see fracturing in families and so forth. So a lot of these things were a key component of that. Just because that has happened, that's not your story. You don't have to remain in that. But it's important to understand that yes, the pain is there, but as we've seen tonight, we can break the cords. We can use that process on an ongoing basis. And what I will do, Catherine, is apart from putting the call up as we normally do, I'll also do a little snippet of just the meditation so people can use that for themselves as well as a tool. So that'll be an important thing as well.
Can I also just throw in here, Brownie,
Yep.
sorry to interrupt, that if someone has, big stuff or big trauma that they feel like they're doing the cord cutting, but there's still something sitting there, this is where I can help you. I'm really happy to just reach out to me and we can do a one-on-one session and help you move through that, so you don't have to sit in the crap of the past.
There you go. So all you guys have a call out from Catherine. I might do a little post tomorrow specific to that so that they can make contact with you. So what we're going to do now is look at expanding the meaning of family. Your soul family is real and are waiting for you. Family is who walks your path, not who shares your blood. Spiritual allies can be closer than relatives, and we're saying that. Your appointment roles to you appoint the roles to your chosen family, and we'll get into the internet next week in particular. Values, not DNA, define your legacy circle. The hug family and the alliance family is your frequency tribe, and that's why it's so good to be on these calls every week and build these connections over time, because we are the ones that are moving forward together. So consider us as your soul family. Before I go on to the next slide, does anyone have any comments on that or the slide before? Firstly, Yep, right.
Okay,
Right.
just for those that are not aware, as we move through our cycles of life, so there's our past lives, I'm sure Catherine will relate to this, we're actually moving with, well, I think it's roughly 10,000 people or thereabouts in our soul family. And we interchange our roles, our connections, our relationships with that group through many, many lifetimes. So sometimes we're the boss, sometimes we are the niece, the nephews, as if we were to look at it now. Sometimes we are the mother, and other times we are the father. So that's is when you start looking at family being much wider than what we perceive to be what I call our immediate family.
Yeah, and I think this definition here really does show who we are and where we're going moving forward. Yeah, they say blood's thicker than water, but quite frankly, your soul family is much bigger. Robert.
Thank you for having this slide, Brownie. This is really very important for everybody. I was thinking about what was I going to share tonight, and it was really all about this because we're all tied to our family of origin, our biological family, and that's kind of what we think of as our family. And there might be a tendency to try to hold on to it more than is realistic as we go through this next phase of whatever it is that this flash of light is going to create, whatever this is, that when these energies shift, there's going to be people left behind that you're going to feel sadness missing them. And you're going to want to mend those relationships somehow and try to make it work. And I don't know the answers, but I do think that this is a really great way to look at it, that it's not about that. It really is about who you resonate with, who you naturally work well with, people, that you find are on exactly the same path, so much that we're all sort of on these paths that cross, right? We're going through life and, oh wow, I just ran into you again, right? It's like that. But here we have a close-knit group and we all sort of feel the same way. We see things similarly, and it's really comforting for me, especially because my family of origin, my poor children, they don't see me as someone they learn from. And that isn't their fault, but they have that experience. And so I need to let that be okay until that changes, but it has to come from them. When I try to force it, be the dad, it doesn't work. And it's very frustrating, but you know what? It's okay. I am a natural teacher. I am a natural mentor. So that'll happen naturally as it unfolds. And so I just want to let people know that this right here is is great. I love this slide because it really helps us see like the future is going to be about, like, what's it going to look like? People say when the dust settles, when we get on the other side of the RV or the other side of a frequency, shift where everyone's readjusted. Like, what's it going to look like, Reese? I mean, you got a huge family. You're going to have some will make it through there, and it's not like they're not through it. It's just like we are going to see a different frequency and they're going to see the frequency they're at. Maybe they're here, but we can't see them. Like, I don't know what it's going to be like exactly, but I do know that it's going to be different and it'll be interesting. There's going to be some people you've not seen for a long time, but all of a sudden that we're on the same frequency on the other side of this, and now they're in your life again. So it's very unpredictable, but I just think staying open-hearted about it and not being attached to some agenda related to what it's going to be like. Yavi and I were talking today about these different people throughout different countries in Africa who we're working with. Well, how many of them are going to get through this process? And because of their personal spiritual walks, are going to land right in the same frequency that we're in. I'm guessing many won't, and that's okay. We'll make new friends.
Yeah, and the fact that you anybody that's here on the call has gone through this cord cutting process today, you got a fresh start, and that's beautiful. You can reconnect with your soul family. You can reconnect with your people in Africa with a whole new level of understanding because they've been cut. They may not know that, or they may sense that, but you now have that opportunity to do something completely different tomorrow. Bloody nice, isn't it?
And
It's really
you know,
nice. So thank you. Yeah.
I too,
Nicole?
I was going to say, Robert, I too am glad that we're talking about these possibilities of having a different type of family than is normally thought of as the family. And some people may be quite bound to happily, or not bound, we don't want to be bound, are happy in the environment of the family and see that all the persons in the family are anxious to do what they want to do. But it's I have always, not always, but I have heard from the beings in the beyond, the channeled entities, that we choose our parents because we want to have certain experiences and lessons that we need to learn by having those parents. So you may be with the parents for a certain time, and then after that, like they're responsible for us for 18 in the legal sense, and then they may want to go away. You might want to go, and as you say, meet other people who have some significant connection with you, or will have. Yeah, so that flexibility is worth knowing about, and not. I've been feeling, oh dear, Brownie. I can see. I always taught my children to be independent and do what they feel they wanted to do, and not feel that they had to be what I was. Like some people want to be a doctor because their father's a doctor, I encourage that independence. And so here we have it talking about the family all knitted together, and I thought, well, that's not my family. Yes, and that's why I said I can put this what should we call it, this sample, this program
This
together
charter,
with the
yeah.
people in my
Mm.
humanitarian project. They'll be the ones who
That's
will be the
exactly right.
family for me.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the process I was trying to get you guys to this week, because in some respects in the first week I did play it up a bit when I was talking about family and how that you would be triggered. Did the job, fantastic. Now that you've had a triggering and you see where we want to go with this, you can now see quite clearly that this is not the normal family charter governance or office that we see in the 3D world. This is something different. This is sovereign. So, I'm going to change the documents from family governance to sovereign governance, to sovereign office, because that's very much in alignment with you guys and where we're going. And I'm getting massive guide bumps, so that's confirmation. Because we can do something completely different. Why would we want to do the same old that the corporate and that the elites have done for years? We can put the soul into a sovereign office, and that's the beauty of that. So bloody exciting. I heard some hands pop. Is anyone has something to say?
Yeah, just quickly with that, Brownie. I
Oh,
agree
yep, go.
very quickly with what you were just saying. That is a much better option, because a lot of people, as you just said, the 3D mode is pretty much the way the majority of the family charter was actually going, because we're going back to that scenario only because that's all we know. However, with what you've just said now, clarifying that and having people that are not immediate family and things and who are on a higher level is definitely going to help everyone's project.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, as you guys have worked with me, and I've been through this process, I've got more and more excited, because now I see I started with something really good. Now we can make this exceptionally better than what it is right now. So look out for the updates, guys. It's going to be pretty darn cool.
Excellent, thank
And
you.
can I add something there, Brownie?
You can indeed.
First of all, I said this to you personally, but I'm so grateful for all of the information you give us and the templates and the structure. And you know, I think as a writer and as someone who's done content creation and program creation forever, I see that and I'm like, oh my God, what a gem, you know, like I don't have to do it all, figure it all out myself. I can just
Yeah.
use the template. And I think the point is it is a template, right? That we can
It's a starting point.
structure and reword and redefine for us personally. So if there is words that I think it's important to be conscious of what's triggering us, which is what happened to me when I sat down to do it. I went family office and I'm like, because I was going family, office, because of my past, right? So, and then I went, okay, I need to look at those words. I need to find a word that works for me and is more in alignment with me. So I think that's the point I just want to add is that it's just meant to be a template. And if you don't like a word, change the word, find a better word. If you don't like
Absolutely.
the word governance, find another word for it. Or if you don't like the word
Yeah.
family, find another word.
Yeah.
So because it's not about that.
Another word
But it's about the
yeah.
energy of what, because then you'll create it with your energy and your
That's
sovereign.
true. Spot on.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's another word, team. I love this word. You know, together everyone achieves more.
Yeah, it's
And
something
it's
that
like
reaches
everyone
a
bringing
lot.
together
Yeah.
their own talents, their own special
Mm.
part of the team. And so that's the family I think about sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I
So is
do like team.
anyone open to leaving the door ajar just in case, because everyone is evolving at different levels at their own time, and that a family member might actually change, because it's all
Oh,
about
yeah.
change. The
Oh,
world's
yeah.
changing, we're evolving, and the levels are, everyone's like, I've even had one family member that's actually coming to me now. So I feel that you've got to leave the door ajar for some family members, because I know there's definitely ones that I will not bring into the family office. But if you leave the door ajar for those ones that are, I'm starting to see, they're starting to move towards, change. And, you've just got to leave it open. I mean, there's probably not me, but there's probably other people that have got like a son or a daughter, or I don't know, Reece, you've got a big family. Would you leave the door ajar for some of them, like that may change or might come up to where you want to be?
Just unmute first, bud.
Or would you just slam the door and say, no, that's it, this is it. Family's out.
No one thought that.
No.
No. Thinking about my situation, the door is open for everybody. Because if I follow my charter, governance, and office, so to speak, there is a section built into it around conflict resolution and how I go about doing that. And the way I go around doing that is that we don't approach it with an ego, or we don't approach it with our personal feelings. We bring it to the table where the family has guidance from our elders. We draw from our traditions, and we draw from our wairua, our spirit, and then we sit down and we discuss, and we establish a safe zone, and then nothing is off the table. You can speak about anything you want, and by the time we finish, that grievance should have been healed. Whether you move them from that point into a position in your family in regards to a job, or a person in a working position in your humanitarian is totally up to you. But if you've actually forgiven that person, you should actually be wanting to either help with their re-education, or give them the opportunity to heal and become part again of the larger umbrella.
Yeah.
So
Fabulous. Yes, that's right. It's
my wairua says, no, the door is open for everybody in my family.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what the past was, because we need to move past the past.
Yeah.
And it's not about the grievances held back in the toxic grievances held in the past. It's about the journey we have together as a whānau, as a family.
Yeah.
That's where organising a family meeting is important, if you haven't already been having them, to get everyone together and create a a familiar environment where you can connect with those that you have difficulty having a good relationship with. They will feel more supportive if the others are there with you. By the way, can anybody actually see the text of the chat?
Yeah.
It is working? Okay, I wasn't sure if it was working. Yeah.
Yep.
I've just put up the new channel that I've created.
Yep. I see that there.
There are videos there that will explain a lot of what we've been discussing tonight. The story, for example, of Elena Danan is a very good one. It talks about frequency, soul connections, reincarnation. All those sort of topics are covered in some of those videos to explain how it actually works. It's a very, very good source of information, and how connections can be made through reincarnation and things like that. So it's a new channel to explore. It's called Cosmic Connections and Teachings from Our Galactic Overseers.
And did you see my my logo I sent you, brother? I sent you.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I've put that on the channel already.
I have you. Oh, excellent. Okay. Good. And it's good because like what we're doing now is we got the high-minded call. The high-minded call, which is the ascension side, and now Pete's got something that's going to bring us information about our benevolent friends who assist us in that ascension process. So it's pretty cool.
It covers things that have been we've been given false information about for a long time. There's a lot of imposters out there giving information that is not correct, whereas these people are the genuine ones, the ones who are giving us true information. And you'll see that a lot of the things that you might have believed about things like medbed, for example, there are certain aspects of it that we haven't been told correctly. You know, they will tell you in these videos the drawbacks to some of these technologies, like the replicators and medbeds. You know, there are limitations that people may not be aware of, and how they work. So it kind of straightens out a lot of that knowledge.
Well, I'll get a post out tomorrow, a proper nice post with that new logo we did, so that everyone can jump onto that channel. And hopefully it'll go viral. I'm gonna have a comfort break, but Linda has popped in and wants. Oh, sorry, Rhys, go on.
No, I was just going to say, guys, I'm going to be open with everybody here, right? I look at this very differently in regards to 5D, 3D, 4D, however you see it, right? Because with my culture, we have a different way of approaching the frequencies. So if you're not understanding when people are talking about the light and sovereign, etc., it might be because you're on a different path in regards to getting to your 5D destination. And the wording might be a little bit different for yourself. So don't think that you're being left behind because you're not understanding. I'll be honest with you, I probably don't understand 50% of what people are saying here because my journey is a bit different and how I approach it is different. My journey is through my whakapapa, my genealogy, my family, the ones that are coming. So that's my journey. So if you're not
what was that word again?
fully understanding.
Yeah, it's also the same with the Australian cultures of the Aboriginals.
Yeah.
They have a different look at it as well.
Yeah.
But it's the same principles in the end.
Just different words.
Yes, yes. The expressions are different, how they express it.
Okay, now Linda had a hand up, so I'll let Linda speak. I'll hear on the headset as I have a covered break. So back in a tick, Linda, take the floor.
Lovely. I appreciate so much what Rhys just said. Families come in all shapes and styles, and the fact of a birth lineage doesn't mean that people's, I'll say, life journey in this particular lifetime is converging with what I care about, my interests, my pursuits. And, for instance, Anybody who met virtually any member of my family would say, bright, intelligent, entertaining, great people. True. At the same time, not a single one of them is actually, one of them out of my entire family sincerely cares how I am, says hello, greets me, inquires. Why would I want these other folks who are acquaintances to diverge from the path they want to be living and the involvements they want to have in order to join me in this pathway and journey I'm going to take for coming decades? These are folks who have not cared in the least about what I've been involved in the humanitarian world, or my working world, or my social world, or my traveling the world. So it's not in my agenda that I have to figure out how to demonstrate to them what I'm doing next, what I'm involved in next, what I'm creating in next, so that maybe someday they'll be interested and demonstrate it to me. I feel quite differently about it, which is bless them and let them go on their way, living whatever it is they're going to live as their lives. And I'm going to continue to keep seeking out companions for my journey, folks who currently and in coming years demonstrate this is who they are, this is how they're wired, this is where their personal interests and passions lie, and invite them as it makes sense to participate in this thing that's being shaped and created and birthed and is going to grow and metamorphose over time and be reshaped. The values that I espouse now, I may be missing two of them because they don't occur to me now, but 20 years from now, they're self-evident. And it's because of people I'm encountering through my journey and gathering into this emotional and soul level initiative that I'm undertaking to design and participate in, and staying open to, I don't know who is going to show up along the way of the journey and be invited in to particular roles under the charter umbrella, as opposed to fabulous to have them on projects. And that might be fabulous to have them on projects for 30 years and that their family or their friends or their children see what they're involved in and demonstrate an interest, a caring in participation in the vein that we're all talking about these past weeks. So thank you for letting me share that, Brownie.
Thanks, Linda. And that kind of leads on to the next slide, actually, because we're talking about what happens if there is just the one. It's you, as you would say, Linda. Yes, you can start with one alone regarding the family charter. Begin with your values, your vision, and your mission. Build the structure. The people will come, as Linda would say. Right as if you're speaking to your future tribe. And I know that Reese, for example, when he did his, it was all about seeing all his tribe together and how that would look. The charter is a frequency anchor, not just a document. It will help you with your spiritual family. It'll help call your spiritual family into form. Bridging the gap between the biological family when possible. Lead with love, not with force. Share values, not arguments. Create small rituals or shared service moments. Honor their soul journey, even if they stay asleep. Protect your peace, and that's what, like cutting the cords, as Catherine was saying. Discern openness versus obligation. Let your light be your message. So, anyone have any thoughts on those two slides about how we can transition to our soul family?
Brownie, can you raise your hand so we can see you as well?
Oh, you can't find me. Okay.
Yeah, you're way down the screen somewhere.
Oh, of course, yeah, because I can see myself up top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point, actually. I never thought of that. Chat. Where are we? Hang on. Do you know what?
So you just want to let it happen organically.
React.
That's right. Exactly. That's and you were saying that quite well before, Janie, that this is something that is just going to happen organically. You can't force it. You just let people, be there. I just realised that I can't put my hand up when I'm sharing a screen. So there you go. Yep. So, I see a familiar hand. Hello, Anne.
Hey, Brownie. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Don.
Sorry I came late today. Got a million things going on. This is an awesome topic, mate. Like off the charts, because this is something that we've never been into or that we've even remembered on this reincarnated journey. Don't want to offend anybody if they're not into the reincarnation. As a Christian world, that's what they told us, that was demonic and that we shouldn't do it, or we shouldn't be talking about it. But from what Christ has been teaching me over this last year, no, we reincarnate into this new place. Somebody said it really well, Janine, I think it was, that we chose the families that we're coming into. We chose because we wanted to experience whatever it is to experience in order for us to upgrade, transition to the next place when we leave this planet. And while I was listening to you guys, I kept getting this picture in my head of it's perfect that we are preparing. I'm not sure if you guys remember, I don't actually read the Bible anymore, but I know it well because I've read it 1,000 times. But there is a part in Matthew where Christ says we must always be prepared. Whether the thing comes off or not, be prepared. So getting the family charter, the governance, and all this stuff together is awesome because we are preparing. We have no idea what tomorrow is going to be, but we're ready for it because we're living in the present. Now, all our families are different, all of us are different, but the one thing we have in common is that divine consciousness brought us into this place. And we, looking at the list where it says shares values, not arguments, there's no arguments in the Creator. We've picked it up on this planet. Therefore, we need to get rid of it. And I know it sounds really easy to get rid of it. It's not. We have had arguments since we came out of the womb. But the thing is, when you think like the one who brought us here, let's say created us, he doesn't have arguments. That means, you know what, give the arguments to him. Everybody else always wants to have an argument in a family, friends, acquaintances, colleagues, because it gives them a one-upmanship on others. And not only that, it actually exposes the things that are going on within their hearts, in their lives. And we always like to judge a book by its cover. And it's something, praise Father, that I don't actually do anymore because I don't know the person's backstory. So I can't be judging that person. Yeah, I get really passionate when I'm talking about stuff. I'm trying to hold it down today. But I don't know the person's backstory. So I tell my family, can you stop judging that person when you don't even know them? You don't know what's going on in that person's life, why they're reacting the way they are. And yeah, some of them react real pants towards us individually or whatever. But the thing is, there is always a root issue why a person acts or speaks or does the things that they do. And we have to have the grace and the love to step back, let them scream and shout. When they're ready to come and say something or speak to us, do it. But you know what? Agree to disagree. Walk away or ignore it. I'm learning this because I am feisty, and I think you guys can tell.
I know. We know. But is it?
Go on.
But hasn't the process of this awakening for the last few weeks been marvelous? So well done to everyone.
It's really, really good.
which actually leads on to the next slide. So it's a good little segue.
Go for it.
Creating a family office with soul-aligned allies. Your office is a vessel. Fill it with residents. Align roles with trusted friends, mentors, huggers, alliance, whatever. Use your private trust structures with your chosen family, not all. Your family office becomes your mission vessel. Lawful, loving stewardship does not require biology. It's a living expression of your frequency. And if anything has come across tonight, it's about our frequency, our vibration. And this is how we create soul-aligned family offices. So, or should we say even sovereign offices. I like the word sovereign. So this is where we're heading. You know, at the end of the day, we've got to move from trauma to trust. Healing opens the gateway for legacy. Trauma keeps us stuck in survival, so trust builds legacy. Safe bonds are made slowly and sovereignly. You can protect yourself and remain open. Sharing your story creates mirrors for others. Your healing equals your family's possible future healing. And at the end of the day, like we said before, you cannot influence your family one iota. And those who have tried to, and I'm seeing some comments in the chat as DMs to me, don't try, give it up, let it go, let things happen. That's what it's all about. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
Well, Brownie, I've got a little thing that I say, which I don't know whether I should say it because I was going to leave it for tomorrow night, but it's just a little thing I say. And it's only like really short, so everyone might use it. I don't know, but I just say, so to letting go is as simple as saying it. I choose to free my soul of all the hurt to be gone, no longer exists in my reality. I let it go, let it go, let it go. My soul, I free my soul from any attachment to all trauma. I am grateful to be free and sovereign, and so it is. Something simple like that.
Yep.
You're just letting go all that hurt, all the trauma. And honestly, your subconscious will it'll know exactly what you need to let go, and it'll be done just like that. Like it's just so simple. And you'll feel a relief once you've said it. Like,
well, I'm believing that a number of you guys on the call here have felt something tonight perhaps you haven't felt before when it comes to this sense of release as you've visualized, and some with chainsaws, some with swords, some with other things. Cutting those cords as a visualization, it's a real powerful process. I'm feeling pretty darn good, and I know moving forward that I can't pick up those things again. I've got to let those cords be or let those bygones be bygones as such, but also to don't pick up the cords that weren't meant to be picked up. And if you are going to interact with someone again, you're going to do it at a much higher level of understanding. You know, some of the cords we may have had with our siblings may have been cords that were developed, you know, at age 6, at age 4. So you're trying to do things with siblings and act in a way that is from a 3 or 4 year old understanding. So by cutting those cords now, once and for all, you're able to, if you choose to reconnect with siblings, do it at a much higher level. And that's the part I'm excited about. I really am. Robert.
So, Brownie, well done. So what you're doing here, and not just tonight, but just if you look back over the last arc of meetings and thought processes and this whole family legacy that you've been working your way through, you're modeling for everyone a great example of the open-mindedness and the sort of the way things can develop if we're working as a team where every idea wants to be heard, that every idea adds to what we're doing, not necessarily, deter from. And I just see this evolving in such a beautiful way, and I'm very impressed. It's very good modeling.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you for that.
And again, this has been a work in motion. So you go back to 4 or 5 months ago when I decided I've got to get back into the concept of family office and revisit that again. And what I saw and what I envisaged back then is nothing like I'm seeing now, because it's totally evolved, and it's evolved with you guys. That's the special part about it. So we are doing something that's absolutely new, uncharted waters. The slides I was working on for next week, when we get into the roles, you're going to have all kinds of people, friends. Yes, I'm family, but friends working side by side, shoulder to shoulder in your family office with your project. So it's going to be pretty special next week. And then from there, the whole concept of project charter is a whole new level of excitement as well. So as I unpack these things, we're going to see some pretty cool stuff. So let's go onto the next slide. Traditions of the future built with intent. You get to define the rhythm of your sacred household. Start with seasonal gatherings and spiritual councils. Create rituals of satisfaction, blessing, and remembrance. Pass on the values through actions, not pressure. Share songs, ceremonies, meals, meditations. These anchor your family's new culture. And what we did today as a meditation is a good example of our sovereign family, how we can do that. We can do things like this more often to anchor things. It's pretty exciting. So closing reflection. You are already family. You're not waiting for a family. You are building family. You are not broken. You are the bridge. The right people are drawn to your clarity. You are allowed to lead, even if no one follows yet. Your office is a temple. Start here. You are seen, you're worthy, and you belong, guys.